Okay. So let's take a big breath in and reach out and over and over. One more set, right and left, and then come back to center and reach up. And let's just arch back a little bit. We'll come back to this one. If you haven't been shoveling snow, bear with us. Here we go. Press up and arch back. Let's do those dinner plates on the circle, just loosening up the shoulders. Remind me to show you before this is over. I can't see out the window of my office. The wall of snow is completely up to the top. 6, 7, 8. Okay, so one more time. Let's take a big breath in. Press up, arch back, pull your shoulders back, and then come back. One more time. Pull up, reach up, pull back. Shift right and left if that feels good. And let's roll your shoulders. 6, 7, 8, and let's start swinging. 3. Looks good. And twist. Spend a little bit more time up here. 8. Alrighty, let's bring our hands to our hips and pop them out side to side. Let your hips do the movement, not your upper body. You're not leaning from the waist, just check in. Good, and let's go into hula hoops. 4, 5, 6, and reverse direction. So there were a couple hours in there where every time I looked at the weather, because it changes every few minutes, but for a few hours, it kept saying 7 to 9 inches. And by the time 9 o'clock rolled around, let's do figure eights, we were down to like half an inch. So power and internet intact, hooray. And reverse direction. But there's still a hell of a lot of shoveling to do. 8. Good, let's come down to the knees, circling them out, going around the edges of your feet, and let's reverse direction. Okay, and then finally let's do your ankles. So planting the ball of your foot in there, making sure the ball of your foot is stuck on the ground. Let's circle out your ankles. Changes the feel just a little bit. I mean, you don't let your toes move quite as much. And switch sides. Maybe 5 or 6 each direction. And reverse. Okay, one more. The heater heated up fast. Okay. Into first position. Squeeze your legs together, squeeze your heels together. Let's start in this position and see if you can hold it as you lift up onto your toes. 6, 7. 2 more. And then let's bring our toes together and our heels out. We're going to try to hold this. Your legs don't need to be together for this, just your toes. Big toes touch. And let's lift up for 10. 4. Good. And then bringing your feet parallel underneath your hips. Let the ball of your foot heel up on one side and then switch. A little bit of prancing this morning. Good. Let's take one leg out. Do some ankle wiggles. And then rotate from the hip and leg lift, working that inner thigh, waking it up. Good, and let's switch sides. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then rotate and lift up. Let's take our feet nice and wide. And we'll go side lunge to side lunge. My side lunges aren't very deep this morning. Maybe they're never very deep. Right. Let's each one try to see if you can go a little bit lower. Keeping your weight back and down. See if you can lift your toes up. And then we're going to add some arms and some reach, so we'll keep stretching out your back. Here we go. Reach. Reach, you're reaching in the direction that you're lunging. Couple more. And let's come back to center. Toes turned out, knees turned out. Adjust your feet if you need to. Sink down into a squat. And drop one shoulder down and the other. Let's bring our hands down to the floor. Let's squat a little deeper if you can. And lift it up. Straight legs and sink it back down. That's 2. Got 4 more of these. 3, 2. Last one. Walk your feet in. Let the backs of your legs stretch. Bring your arms onto your elbows. And shift side to side. Nice and gentle. And bring your hands on your knees. Let's roll it up. Take your arms out to the side. We're going to do kicks straight ahead with an upper body rotation. So reach and reach. Good. Last set. Good. Let's come down on the floor. And we're going to do a quick set of bird dogs, cat cow, and then we'll get into the workout. So hands are wherever you need them to be, knees also. You can make it as challenging as you want, pretending you're on a balance beam, or you can keep everything under your hips and your shoulders. So let's go for a nice long extension, keeping your hips facing the floor, and switch. Check in with how your back feels today. And switch. Last set. Now bringing your knees back under your hips if you've moved them, hands under your shoulders. Let's tuck the tailbone, round up all the way through your middle back to your upper back, and then tuck your chin at the very end. And then we're going to reverse that. So we're going to bring the crown of your head up, let your shoulder blades slide together, mid back arch, low back arch to a tailbone lift. Let's do that one more time, nice and articulated. Tucking the tailbone, rounding through your lower back, into your middle back, into your upper back, stretch those shoulder blades apart. Tuck your chin, and then lift the crown of your head. Let your shoulder blades come back together as your middle back arches, low back arches, tailbone extends. Now we'll wag our tail one more time. And let's get into it. So we have plank holds and core assisted snow angels. And you'll need something to put between your knees, whether that's a cushion or a ball or a dog toy or whatever you got. Doesn't have to be hard or soft, it just needs to be something that your knees can squeeze together. And with the snow angels, we'll talk about how to progress them. I don't know if everybody has a way of progressing them or can progress them yet, but when we get there, we will. So we're going to do both planks today, the front plank and both side planks. We're going to hold we're adding 10 seconds every class we have. Hopefully you're practicing them in between. If you're not past a minute yet, hopefully you're working on that every single day so we can get there together. Plank hold we're going to do for 40 seconds front and 20 seconds on each side. And by adding 10 seconds to each front plank and 5 seconds to each side plank, by the time we get to the end of our month, you'll be up to a 90-second front plank, which is awesome, and 45-second side plank, which is also awesome. So let's get into position. I'm going to face my clock. You can do this on your elbows, or you can do it on your hands. If you need an incline, use an incline, but you can start on hands and knees, stretch one leg back, the other leg back, press through your shoulders, squeeze your booty, push back through your heels, and we're going. 20 seconds here. What am I saying? 20 seconds, 40 seconds. Because we're doing a front plank, it's 40 seconds. So 40 seconds here, 20 on the side. So this is 20. You should be feeling pretty good at 20. Make sure you're not piped up. That makes your hip flexors do the work, and make sure you're not sagging down, because that makes the pain in the back. 10 seconds left. And come on down. Stretch into child's pose. Nice work. Let's come on the sides. Get set up for a side plank on your elbow, on your hand, or using an incline. So let's set up in a nice straight plank, pop it up, and we've got 20 seconds here. Got 5 more seconds. 2, 1, and down. Let's pop it around. We'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pop it up 20 seconds on the other side. You got this. Check that you're not rolling forward. That if you lift your arm up or have your hand here, you're not pulling that shoulder down. Good, that's 20 seconds, goes fast. We're all done for today. We'll come back to this on Thursday, adding 5 more seconds to our side plank, 10 more seconds to our front plank. And we are going to come onto our backs with the ball or the pillow or the cushion or the box or the block or the fox and socks, whatever you got. And we're going to lay down on the floor. So the idea with the snow angel arms for this, I want you to keep your arms straight as long as you can. No bending. We're not trying to reach, which I do sometimes, but that's not this month. We're keeping our arms straight and as flat against the floor as you can. So we're going to bring our legs up into tabletop. You got a ball between your knees. You're going to squeeze it as hard as you can. And from here, hands palm up. Take your arms up as high as you can. As soon as your arms start to pull off the floor, you come back down. We're going to do 10 of these. It doesn't matter if your arm comes up down here. They won't get better unless we stop cheating, bending our arms and lifting them off the floor. And of course, with your arms straight, your fingertips won't touch because the only way your fingertips can't touch is if you're bending your arm. So keeping your back pressed into the floor. I have a few more. There you go. Nice shoulder opener. And you can give it a try on your own without the ball and see what your arms can do. Sometimes just engaging your lower abs by squeezing the ball frees up a little bit more space for you to move in the shoulders. What we can do in coming weeks, and I'll put this in a note, is we can put a pillow under your back, under your upper back, or you can use a foam roller and lay on the foam roller. Of course, if you're on a foam roller, you won't have your legs on tabletop because it's impossible to balance, but it asks you to stretch out a little bit more through your chest, and it'll make it a little bit more challenging. So that's where we're going with this, opening up the chest and the shoulders while trying to keep our core engaged. Alrighty, so moving on to our first round of exercises. We're going to do our narrow weighted split squats, and we're going to add bicep curls to that. So see what it feels like. If the bicep curls make it too hard to hold your balance, go for just holding the weights static, either at your shoulders or down by your side. We're going to do scarecrows, so a bit more shoulder work. And dumbbell rows, we're going to go as heavy as we can with those, standing, not bracing on anything. So split squats with bicep curls. If you've been shoveling, go really light or use no weights. That's my advice. My left biceps are pretty much toast right now. So we are in a narrow split stance. So your feet are still on railroad tracks. You're taking one step just a little bit back. So your knee comes down, it's just behind your heel. It's not the big wide split squats we've always done. So it's a little more challenging, but your feet are still hip width apart to give you a wider base. And we're gonna do bicep curls. 4, 8, 2 more, 10. Good, and I'm going to take this break to adjust my weights. So I can find them, and we'll switch legs before my left arm screams at me anymore. So feet hip width apart, check your split squat that you're coming down right behind that front knee. And let's hit it. 2. 7, nice. 8, 2 more. Good. It's like being in an igloo, having a wall of snow around you. It's really insulating. My room heated up much faster than it has. So we're gonna do our scarecrows. We'll start with elbows 90 degrees, whatever weights you're choosing. If you're using weights, we're gonna bring our arms up in a lateral raise and a rotation. Down and down. 2, rotate up, down, down, 3, up. Make sure your goalpost arms are staying goalposts. Elbows are 90 degrees. Good. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. So your arms, your legs, everything should be warmed up for doing the big move, which is our double arm row. Adjust my weights. So setup for this, you want to go as heavy as you can. You want to feel like, you can work on this all month. You want to feel like when you get to the end, maybe you can do one more, and that's it, and you're done. If you feel like you can keep doing 10 more, you can just keep holding this hinge and rowing. Your weight is way too light. We want to build the back, we want the hips and core. So feet hip width apart, your back in a hinge. You should feel your glutes turned on, brace through the abs. I'm gonna reach down and pick up my weights. And we're gonna row for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's put the weights down. Shake your arms out. Swing them, twist, whatever you need. We're going to take about a minute here before we start those 3 exercises all over again. "35 more seconds. Enjoy that break. Roll your shoulders. Maybe wake your neck up. We didn't do this in the warm-up. Oh, feels good. Nose up, nose down. Okay, we have 10 seconds. I'm going even lighter. I can find all my weights. It's like a kid who doesn't pick up after their toys. I forget where I put my weights. Okay, feet hip width apart. You want to be just so you can get your knee down right behind. And let's hit it. Bicep curls with our split squats. Eight. 2 more on this side. And let's take it the other way. Whew. So I got that one. There we go. 2, 3, 8, 9, and 10. Beautiful work. Hold on to those weights. Whew. Elbows 90 degrees. We'll go in 10 seconds. Catch your breath. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Elbows up, rotate back, bring it down and down. So out to the side, rotate back, down and down. We want that arm to be moving in the shoulder socket. Good. This is 7. Hang in there, looks good. 8, 9, 10. Put those weights down. Swing your arms. Roll your shoulders. Get ready to do round 2 of our dumbbell rows. Remember, hips back, you're in this ready stance. Think about if somebody's going to come at you, you'd be ready to go in any direction. That's how everything is turned on. That's how turned on everything is. Whatever the grammar is, here we are. So let's go for 10 pulls. 7. Exhale as you pull. 6, 5, 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Put your weights down safely. And let's do a forward fold. This time, take our break. We have a minute, minute and a half. Let your back stretch. Let your neck relax. Maybe do some standing cat-cow. This is your time to do the stretch that works for you. Whatever you need right now. Everybody feels a little different in the morning. So if I turn this around, I don't know if you can see. You can see out my window. It's just all snow, 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 snow. Stretching, twisting, moving. This is when I thank goodness for Zoom. Because I'm not moving my cart anywhere in this. Okay. Round 3, here we go. Split squats, maybe switch which foot you put in front. I tend to put my right foot in front, put your left foot in front this time, or vice versa. Okay, bicep curls, down and up. 4, 7, 8, 2 more. I know last week I mentioned that you might be feeling this on the front of your knee. Hopefully over the month, you'll feel it a little bit less, not a little bit less, then you won't even notice it because we're stretching out your connective tissue, working the muscles in a slightly new range. Good. Shake your legs out. Okay, elbows 90 degrees, elbows lead up. So your arms are parallel to the floor. Rotate back, that's 1. And down. 2. And 4. And down. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Last one. And 10. Good. Catch your breath, grab a drink, find your weights. Hopefully your space is not as messy as mine. We have our last round of dumbbell rows. So we got our weights, got our feet hip width apart, knees slightly bent, hips go back like you're doing a deadlift, but we're not. Shoulders are pulled away from your ears and row. Pull those shoulder blades in towards your spine. And 10. And I think I found my max weight doing those. At least on a week when we're shoveling. So I think in September, I was challenging you to challenge yourself with the 1-arm rows. And I got up to 30. So with the 2-arm rows standing without any support, I was using 20s, which not bad. My back is strong enough for the shoveling. Where I'm feeling it is here. So if I'm going lighter with arm weights, that's why. So always, always, always listen to your body. And I will never argue with you if you're listening to your body. Let's do some standing cat-cow or forward fold. Let your back stretch. We're going to take about a minute. We have 2 more circuits to go through. and lots of time. So take your time, stretch what needs to be stretched, grab a drink. And our C's this morning, we're going to do reverse Nordics. God, who came up with the shoulder exercise? I didn't know it was going to snow this much. Here we go. It's a shoulder set. We're going to do reverse Nordics with a band around your wrists. So we are doing our little pulses going out. Optional, if your shoulders are toast, just focus on doing the reverse Nordic and getting your quads stretched out. We're going to be doing banded drivers, just as an add-on to that. It's actually good for your shoulder mobility. So even without pressure, you can get something for your shoulders out of that. And then we'll do glute bridge hold. And I think we are going to add, do we have this anywhere else in the workout? No, we're going to mix up what we do. We did the chest press last week. I think we'll start with the chest press and then we're going to add a stretch. Or maybe we'll start with the stretch and then we'll add the chest press. We'll see how my arms are feeling after this. So we'll get them both in. It's just the order we do them in. So reverse Nordic with a band around your wrist. Grab a band, a loop band. Okay, and I'll show you what I do. When I'm in this position to help stabilize, I press my big toes together. So if you're on your knees and you're pressing your big toes together, you're creating a line of tension in your lower body that really helps. If you're trying to keep your feet flat on the floor, your toes curled under, it feels different. So feel free to play around with that. My preference is just to keep my toes stuck together. So sitting up tall on your knees, squeeze your booty. Arms come straight out in front. We're going to roll our shoulders back and down. And as we lean back, we're going to be making little pulses on that band. And come on up. 2. 3 more. Little pulses. 6. 7. And last one, take it back as far as you can and pull it up. Good work. Keeping the band around your wrists. Come into any comfortable seated position. We're going to rotate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. And done. Good. Okay. So let's come onto our backs. I have to adjust my camera a little bit. Grab your weights that you're going to use for a chest press. And again, I'm staying light. You do you, I'm doing me. Let's come down onto the floor. We're going to set up with the weights at your shoulders to start. Feet, knees, and hips are all in alignment. You're going to press through your whole foot and lift up, hold that bridge, and press. Hold that press, hold the bridge, I mean. Nine. Last one. Bring the weights down and hug your knees in. Come on to hands and knees real quick and do some cat-cows. Check in with how your back and your legs are feeling and your shoulders. And give your shoulders a nice little stretch. Open up across the chest. A lot of what we're doing in this set is this way. So a nice stretch to do is opposite. We'll go this way. Let's grab your band. And we'll do our reverse Nordic. So what we're doing is working our quadriceps eccentrically, meaning we're making them work as we're making the muscle lengthen. And as that muscle lengthens, it's actually stronger than when you're trying to contract it concentrically, like doing a leg lift. So take it back as far as you're comfortable. Try not to bend your hips. If you notice yourself bending at the bottom, that's when you're done. But we're getting the tops of your thighs stronger with this move. Adding the arms engages your back, helps you hold. It's like adding core. So let's go down for 10, 9. You could even try just holding your hand still, pulling out against the band, keeping that tension. Back is engaged. Halfway there. 6, 7, 8. Keep that booty squeezed. 2 more. And 10. Good work. Come into any comfortable seated position you would like. We're going to do 10 drivers real quick to finish on that. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your arms down, shake them out. We're gonna do a variation on our bridge. Yeah, a little more stretch in the shoulders. We'll see how it goes. So no weights for this one. We're gonna start exactly the way we were before, just no weights. Hips, knees, and feet all in alignment. I want you to press through your whole foot, lift up your hips. We're gonna have our hands clasped over our chest. We're gonna lift up, reach behind you to the right, rotate to the left, come back to center, and come down. So lift, rotate and reach, pick that shoulder up off the floor, and come on down. And lower down. I feel like I'm moving backwards with this one. 4. It's okay if your legs are moving, you're still holding yourself up. Whoop, up and over, back and down. Learning stability while you're rotating. 6. We're going to do 2 more of these. And down. Whew. Our last one. Lift, reach up and over, back to center, up and over the other side, center and down. Hug your knees into your chest and let your low back stretch. Make little circles if that feels good. Make sure you go in both directions. Just stretch one leg long. This is a little mini break between sets. We have 1 more to go. Let's cross one knee over your body. Come back to center, we'll switch sides. Other knee comes in, press that other leg long and straight on the floor. Toes up to the ceiling, and then we'll stretch across your body. Let's come up to standing. Almost done. Let's do some butt kicks. We'll see what your quads feel like before we do another round of reverse Nordics. And if you're ready, let's come on down. We'll do our last set. It's true, I feel it right up here, just like I do when we do those narrow split squats. Nothing's getting hurt unless you feel like saying ow. If you're saying ow, don't go quite as deep into this. Don't push it. Don't push the movement. Or give me a call and we'll talk about it and figure out what's going on. But we want the quadriceps tendon that connects to your kneecap to get used to being stretched. And those quads to get used to being worked, right? We want that as we get older. We want that so that nothing snaps on us. And let's go back, down, 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 and up. You take it your distance that works for you. 2, 3. So play around if you've had your toes pressed together, see what it feels like to do your toes curled under. Feel like with my heels up, I can go back a lot further. Maybe because psychologically, I feel like I'm going to land on something. Not that it would feel good to land on my heels. Good. And then come to a comfortable seated position and we'll do our drivers for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Last set of bridges. I think we'll come back to using our weights. Just playing around. There's so many different ways of bridging, so many different things you get out of it. But let's work our chest a little bit more. So again, we want our hips, knees, and ankles all lined up. Your heels can be closer or farther, whatever works for you. I want you to press through your whole foot as you lift, hold, and we'll press for 10, 9. Add that rotation if you want at the top. 6, stay lifted. 8, 9, and 10. Put one weight down. We're adding on. Flatten your back out on the floor. Keep your knees bent. We're going to take one weight in both hands and reach back and over your head. The focus on this is to keep your back on the floor. You're going to get a nice stretch through the shoulders, but I want your back in contact with the floor the whole time. So that might mean if you get to here and your back wants to arch, you've gone too far. Don't let your back arch up. Pull back. Let's do 2 more. It's like a Tuesday morning bonus. And here we go. Let's tuck your knees into your chest. We have one more pair of exercises to go. But let's take a little break and check in with your back that's feeling good, chest and shoulders, arms feeling good. Maybe let's come up to standing and do some quad stretches and help your body forget that it just did 3 sets of reverse Nordics. So our last set, we have sideline arm raises. You can keep it super light. It's actually really good for shoulder health and scapular rhythm. It's a funny term, isn't it? Okay. And then we have our crunch, where we pull the weight or push the weight up towards our feet. So not too demanding, but we'll go through it twice. Shake your legs out, grab a drink, walk around. This is pretty incredible. It's been a long time since I've been in a snowstorm like this. And if you've been shoveling or doing other things that are hard on your shoulders, stay light. This is really a shoulder health movement. You can definitely get stronger with it as we go along, or at another time. You can definitely increase the amount of weight you're pulling with it. But right now, let's just focus on shoulder health. That was actually one of my goals for this month. And that was one of the goals I set before I knew we were going to have a record-breaking snow year. So we're going to set up on our side. You can keep your knees bent or curled, but you want your upper body stacked, perpendicular to the floor. Your top arm is going to be straight out, and all we're doing is lifting for 10, 9, 8, your head can be in any position that's comfortable. I don't want anyone's necks getting tweaked. 3 more. Keep that arm nice and straight. And let's flip it around to the other side. So get comfy, not too comfy. Arms straight out. Keep an eye on your arm as you're doing this. I'm watching the screen, but you should be able to look up and see that your arm is straight as opposed up to the ceiling and moving straight as a lever going down, up and down. And you're going straight in front of your chest. You're not reaching up here, going down here, right out in front of you. 6, 7, I have 2 more, so let's do it. Good. And then you can bend your arm to bring the weight back in. We'll come onto our backs. See how your back is feeling or how strong your abs are feeling. You can do this next move from your knees, from bent knees, or you can try to do it straight. If you're doing it from bent knees, you're still reaching up past your knees. If your legs are straight, you're reaching up for your toes. I want you to pull your head, neck, and shoulders off the floor as long as it doesn't create pain. If your neck is tender, keep one hand behind your head and give it some support. 7, exhale up. And then bring it down. And we'll roll over onto our side one more time. Take your arm out, last set of shoulders. 3, 4, 5, halfway there. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring it down. We'll pivot around. Get comfy. Whatever that means for you. You may not be having your head propped up on your hand. It may be all the way down, maybe up on your elbow. All the way up on your elbow, I mean. Let's go for 10, 9, 6, last 3, last 2, last 1. Let's come onto your back. Take your legs up. Weight up. Reaching for those toes. Big exhale up. 2 more. And rest. Put the weight down safely, stretch your legs out, stretch your arms nice and long. We are done. Let's stretch it out, pencil stretch to start. And slide your feet over to the right. And then slide your hands over to the right. And take a big breath in. Let the left side of your ribcage expand and stretch. You might feel that all the way up into your armpit and down into your arm. Or across the front of your hip. And let's bring your feet back to center, arms back to center. And let's take our legs to the left and our arms to the left. And now we're in a crescent in the opposite position. Big breath in, stretch it out. And then come back to center. Let's bring both knees into your chest. Let's rock side to side. Or make little circles. We're going to bring our knees up to tabletop. And looking over your left shoulder, take your knees down to the right. Hold on to them with your right hand. And let's enjoy a nice twisting stretch. On the next inhale, let's float your knees up. Take your arm away, and we'll go to the other side. So inhale, exhale down to the left. Look over your right shoulder. Grab for your knees. Take some deep breaths. And let's come up on hands and knees. And let's turn your hands out to the side. So we're setting up like we do for bird dog, except our hands are side to side. And we're going to lean into it side to side. You want your hands directly under your shoulders so you get that stretch every time you shift your weight. And then we're going to take the top of your hand down so your fingertips are pointing towards your knees. You can do this on both sides, more power to you, but we can take one arm at a time. And as you pull back, you're going to get a nice stretch on your forearm. Let's go for that. So you can come in and out of it, or you can hold it, whatever feels good to you. And let's switch sides. Fingertips pointing towards your knees. Then you're going to lean back just a little bit, get a stretch across the top of your wrist into your forearm. And then let's step it back into a plank, but then let your hips and your knees drop, squeeze your booty, lift your chest, pull your shoulders down, and look up. And then we curl our toes under, come back into our plank, step our left foot towards our left hand. You can drop your knee if it's more comfortable. And we're going to twist and open up to the side. Bring your arm down. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. We're doing both sides twice. So right foot towards your right hand. Drop your knee if you need to. And reach up. Bring your hand down, step it back to your plank. You can do this one in a full plank. Twist and reach. and bring it down, switch sides. Last one. Bring it down. Come into child's pose. And stretch your arms forward. Walk your fingertips forward as far as you can. Let your head, neck, and shoulders relax as you shift your hips back. So hips are going back, fingertips are going forward. Take a couple of big deep breaths here. And then we'll walk our hands over to the right and keep walking them forward as your hips go back. And then we'll take it over to the left. Good, and we are done with our Tuesday morning. So thanks for sticking with me, and we'll see you on Thursday, I hope.